Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I'm trying a new test really of going to be going across the website as well, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I got a question yesterday, and it was whether I could give an ETA or an indication of what times I'll be at the different dealerships for this endurance ride, which I'm doing on the Harley Davidson Sport Glide, and I'll be starting at about 1 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning, so Sunday morning here in the UK. It's going to take in the region of about 48 hours to do the ride if I'm lucky, if the weather's with me. If it's not, it's probably going to be delayed. So I'm going to try and give you an ETA of each individual Harley dealership now, and then there's going to have to be some leeway there, and also have to make allowances for rest stops. And my strategy is to have lots of different rest stops as I get further into it, and then sort of little cat naps, if you like. Anyway, so I'm going to be kind of roughing it and just trying to get round as best I can. Anyway, so I've got a list here, so apologies, I'm just going to read from the list here. So I'll be Reading Harley Davidson about 1:30 in the morning, and then about Guildford Harley at 2 a.m, Sykes Harley Davidson at 3 a.m, and Maidstone at 4 a.m. Actually, that leg from Reading all the way to Maidstone, that's the one, actually, funny enough, the one I'm more concerned about really in terms of timings. That's the one. So Maidstone at 4 a.m, then Lakeside at 4:30, Wars South East at 5, and then at Wars in London, Kings Road, 5:30 in the morning, Newmarket at 7 a.m, and then Norwich 8 a.m. I would imagine it's going to be more like 9 a.m. ish, but between 8 and 9 a.m. at Norwich. Then I'm going to have a break, quite a long break at Norwich, and then off to Sycamore at 10 a.m, and then Robin Hood at 10:45, Harley World at 11:30, and then Leeds at 1 o'clock, and then up to Gateshead for 4 o'clock. Obviously, I'll be having a bit of a break there in between there as well. Then Edinburgh at 7 o'clock at night, and then Glasgow, well, West Coast, at 8:30 in the evening. That might be pushed back a little bit. Then to Boca down in Preston at 2300, 11 o'clock at night. Then Manchester at midnight. Chester at 1:30 in the morning. So that'd be pretty much a 24-hour ride there. Then I'm going to be taking some time out, or a bit more time out. So Stratstone Wolverhampton will be at 5 a.m, and then Stratstone Birmingham will be 6 a.m, and then Cheltenham Harley at 7:30 a.m, Cardiff 9:30 a.m. I'll be taking a bit more of a break there, and then Swansea at 11 a.m, then Riders Bristol at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then Bridgewater at 2 o'clock, Plymouth at 4 o'clock, Southampton at 6 o'clock, then Oxford Harley at 8 o'clock at night. So that will be a grand total of 43 hours, I believe, total to do all the dealerships. Right, so then adding on about 9:30 at night to get around Oxford and to the Oxford European Harley headquarters, and then back to Reading Harley Davidson at 11 o'clock at night. So it should be in the region of about 46 and a half, 47 hours to do everything, all the dealerships, plus 2 extra points of interest, which will be the European headquarters and then back to my nearest dealership, and then ultimately back home. So I should be back within 2 hours. Within 2 days. But this is obviously allowing for lots of breaks. if I can get round quicker, I will, or try to. And what I'll be doing occasional live streams along the route that will go to YouTube, and I'll also be doing lots of photo posts on social media. That'll go to all the social media, primarily from Instagram, and then that will go to Facebook and Twitter and all that sort of stuff. So you can follow me there, and I'll try and give an indication of where my next stop will be or how long it will take to get to my next stop. But anyway, so that's it. So that's going to be it there. That's going to be the ETAs for the endurance ride. You know, it's very hard to predict actually how long it's going to take each individual one, because it really depends on the weather, it depends on the road conditions. The Sunday shouldn't be too bad in the morning, but obviously you progress throughout the day. And Sunday evening, that's the difficult one to predict, because a lot of people will be returning or commuting back to where they need to work the next day. So Sunday evenings, it can be quite busy on the main routes. So I'll look at that. I'll look at that and look at how that can be, well, what my timings are going to be really. As I say, you know, I'm trying to get around as safely but as quick as possible. I mean, that's my whole point of doing this really. So, you know, I love long distance riding, but I love doing it to a time. I love the challenge of a time, and so that's how I'm going to do it. Anyway, see how it goes really. I mean, you know, anybody who wants to support, that'd be great, by going to my Just Giving page, justgiving.com /RevelatorAlf /RevelatorAlf. You can donate there, that'd be really good, and most appreciated as well. All in aid of Air Ambulance, Thames Valley Air Ambulance here. I am planning to do more endurance rides, charity rides in the future, and more charity events as well in the future. I'll be making a video documentary of this as well. That's the added dimension of this, which is going to be a bit difficult. It's actually trying to document this in a way that would be watchable, and trying to get enough photos and videos along the route. So that's my big headache at the moment really. It's trying to, at one point, just to achieve the endurance ride, and the other hand is just trying to document it as well. I'm not sure the two necessarily go with each other, but we'll see. And then afterwards, once I've got a bit of downtime, I'll be putting together an ebook of basically the lead up to this, the previous endurance ride I've done, the different types of endurance type riding which I've done, the preparation for this, and then the actual details of this ride as well. So I think that might be quite a little interesting thing. So I'll probably make that available on Amazon or something like that, and it will just go through the website and just, you know, download it from there or whatever. And I'll see if what I'll do, I'll try and price that so that it's just, you know, hardly any money at all for anybody, but also I'll try and do a proportion of that money goes to charity as well. So the whole point is about, you know, the video, the ride, the video, and the ebook, if I can do it in time, will actually all go to the charity as well, or go to a charity in the future as well. Right, anyway, so that's that. That's all the ETAs. It's going to be a tough one, but hopefully it will work out okay in the end. Yeah, so any questions, you know, feel free to ask or send messages along the way. And I won't be monitoring so much the social media so much. Only when I have my longer stops, I'll try and get back into it and answer anything I can. But any well wishes would be gratefully received, even if I just read through them. It's always a kind of big psychological boost to get all this sort of stuff as well. So that'd be really good. But as I say, it's a test to do this ride. It's a test to do it this time of year as well. It's a test on this bike. I think it's going to be a good bike to do it actually on. I wasn't so sure, but since I've been riding it for a few thousand miles, I'm really convinced that it's going to be a good one. Riding position is going to be good. and it's it's a Harley, it's a Sport Glide, it's a bike that I've really clicked with. I really love this bike, and I know I don't want to push it to its test. I want to test it and see how good it is and report back of it as well. So hopefully, it's not only about getting video footage to document the ride, but it's going to create discussion points for future content as well, which I really want to do for the channel on YouTube, and also here on Facebook, and also on the other channels, Coco Scope, but also the website as well. So hopefully it will generate a lot of information, a lot of discussion points for everybody, and see how good or how bad it is. I think it's going to be a good one. But I say these ETAs at the dealerships, they're going to be, they are average, really. I can't really say for definite. So that's it, really. So the other question is, that I've been asked, is how many of the dealerships know that I'm going, or have I contacted any of the dealerships? Okay, I've spoken to a couple, but they haven't been official conversations, and a message has been put through to via the charity who I'm raising the money for. They've contacted Harley Europe HQ in Oxford, and they were supposed to send out an email to all the dealerships to let them know I'm coming. The problem is that most of the dealerships which I will be visiting will be closed at the time that I visit them. One, it'll be in the early hours of the morning, or night, or late at night. It will be, or they'll be closed because it's a Sunday. The only ones that may definitely be open are, it depends on what time I get to Wales, and then what on Sunday, and also what time on, let's say, on Monday, what time I get to from Wales, Plymouth, Southampton back to Oxford, what time I get there, whether they're open or not. So some of them should be, but as I say, most of these places I'm just going to be documenting that I've reached there, then I'm off again. It's not going to be much of a stop, really. So as I say, for me, it's more of just an endurance ride, and to cover the distance, cover the stops in the shortest amount of time. That's the kind of riding that I like to do. If I was doing a tour, it would be a different thing. But I'm not doing a tour. This is an endurance ride. It's very similar to, let's say, if I went to another country. I've got lots of endurance rides in my mind, what I'd love to do in the future. Let's say if I wanted to go from East Coast of America to West Coast of America, New York to Los Angeles, right? There's a ride or a drive that you can do, and I forgot who holds the current world record of doing it. Two guys, actually, I think it's the Gas Monkey Garage bloke. I've forgotten his name now. I think he holds a world record. Him and his mate did it in a Jaguar XJS, where they did, they had extra fuel tanks. Anyway, that's the kind of thing. That was basically non-stop. They just drove it, and I think they did it in 29 hours or something, maybe 39 hours. Anyway, so that's the kind of thing that appeals to me. Just getting on Route 66 from Chicago to Los Angeles and just doing it in 24 hours, or doing all the 48 United States, the state capitals in a week or something like that. That's the kind of riding that I would find really interesting. For other people, they'll say, well, you're never going to see anything, you're never spending time. Well, that's not the whole point of the ride, is it? That's the point of the ride, is just to test yourself, test the bike, test physical and mental endurance as well. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing on this particular ride. It's doing a little bit of that, but also trying to maintain a big safety margin as well. So I've got a big strategy of how I'm going to do it. Lots of rest, lots of different sort of fluid intake and food intake and all that kind of stuff. But I'm under no illusions it's going to be a tough one. This is going to be a really tough one. Tougher than the 24-hour ride that I did around the UK a few years ago now. Tougher than the all-day rides which I've done, on dirt trails and things like that. it's a different type of challenge, but you know, it should be interesting. Anyway, but say you can follow me along and get all the updates as I post them, and obviously there'll be lots more coming soon. Right. Well, catch you again. Thanks for watching, and well, hopefully I'll see you at the other end in one piece. Ta-da then.